Nicole, you've been a huge advocate for both the light rail, public transit, busing. Talk a little bit about your advocacy work for the light rail and transit, and really what we could be doing better in Phoenix. Ray is our guest here in Phoenix. He's very kind and positive, but we have a lot of work to do in Phoenix, frankly.
Are you saying I'm not positive?
No, you are very positive. You are very positive. But you always give it straight. And so, what tell us about your work and what we could be doing better when it comes to the light rail and public transit here in Phoenix.
So I'm going to back up just a little bit. On the advocacy side, I see a lot of folks here, and I'm actually eager to know everyone's story if it is possible. And it's been fun getting to know the Strongtown guys. They're the most humble people I've met in a long time on urbanism. But the way I actually got involved, I want to mention real quick on this, is in Minneapolis, when I think it was the Sierra Club was coming after the city for the density that they passed a handful of years ago. And it was the environmentalists that were going after it for reasons that were pretty asinine. But my background isn't environmental. My very first exposure to what really was the impetus for me to want to go into urbanism, because I really never wanted to live in a city after, because I'm from Southeast Houston. Grew up in Southeast Houston by the refineries, the bayous. I did bike and took the Metro bus. But that exposure it made me wanting to be out in nature more. So I actually, believe it or not, worked up in Maine. I was on the Appalachian Trail as one of the ridge runners in the most northern terminus area with all the through hikers. Did that for a while, did some other kind of nature gigs. But then I went over to Europe also. And it was so liberating because I was doing everything on my own budget and I didn't have much of a budget. I was able to get around in so many places and maybe eat one meal a day, but that was fine. But it was the train system and just walking and how accessible everything was. So I knew after that, it's like, my God, if I go back to the States, because I really wanted to stay. I was in Italy for a while. I can't go back to Houston. And this is me like 25 years ago. I can't go back to Houston. I can't get anywhere without someone having to babysit me and drive me around or rely on the sucky Metro at the time, which has gotten better a little. Anyways, long story short, it was kind of those exposures and hardships that led me to part of what maybe seems to some people I could be very crass about some of these topics.